Apparently, the student wasn't arrested because he said there are only two genders. He said there are two genders. He got suspended. Then when he returned to school, he got arrested for trespassing. Very serious crime. It's what a lot of people from January 6th have been convicted with. Dangerous. But I like what the mainstream media is doing, right? Like high school students suspended, comma, arrested. I mean, it's factually true, but when you read it the first time, you think he got arrested for saying two genders. And I need to use some of these journalistic tactics. If the Toronto Sun is doing them, I will do it as well, because it's going to make me into a great journalist. Now, the first time I saw this, didn't really surprise me because it's in Scotland. I mean, the level of authoritarianism in Scotland is off the charts. It's the Scotland National Arbeit Party over there, isn't it? There was already a video with another student which blasphemed and said there are only two genders, and immediately the teacher escorted them. The teacher hid behind the authority and said it's the authority of the school. If the school decrees the communicat from the government, they tell you how to think. If you do not think like this, you are a danger, a menace to society. You need to be expelled. And he did get expelled. So I'm seeing, oh, well, it's Scotland, of course. It's in Scotland, if you want to be a student, you need to think the way they tell you to think. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're indoctrinating. Indoctrination. But this actually surprised me because it's a Catholic school. So in a Catholic school, this student got arrested for trespassing. Very Catholic, right? Like call the arm of the state, the Inquisition. In the name of diversity, at the Holy Catholic School in Renfrew suspended a student and had him arrested for saying there are only two genders. Josh Alexander suspended last November over comments made about gender in class that he couldn't return to class until he recanted. Is that like the thing that you do with the whip? It's like, I'm sorry, you know? Is that what recanted? Did you need to pray to the Holy Mary? Is that how you do it? Is that thing with the rosary where you... Because I'm an Orthodox Christian. I do not know the Catholic rituals. But it does seem like he transgressed. On Monday, Alexander returned to class and was promptly met by the vice principal. And he got arrested by two local police officers and charged with trespassing. Justice was done that day. He needs to be re-educated into a proper member of society. The now seemingly former student of St. Joseph Catholic High School told the National Post in an interview that he made comments during a class discussion on gender. I want to warn my subscribers. I know I have even a couple of transgender individuals that are donating money to me through Patreon. What you are about to hear is dangerous. Could be potentially harmful. So if you do not have what it takes, you have been trigger warning. This is what the student said. I mean, someone got arrested over this. I cannot I cannot stress enough just how dangerous this is. It was about male students using female washrooms, gender dysphoria, and male breastfeeding. Everyone was sharing their opinions on it. Any student who wanted to was participating, including the teacher, Alexander said. I said there are only two genders, and you are either born a male or a female, and that got him into trouble. And then said that gender doesn't trump biology. You see, Alexander, you fell into the trap. This was a test. It was a test of faith to see if you have the right opinions, and unfortunately you do not. As such, you got singled out. You didn't back down. You did not repent. And now you're in trouble with the law. This could have been averted. If you can't do the time, then do not do the thought crime. Alexander, where do you think you live? Do you think you're in Hungary, in Romania? You're in Scotland. Look, in Scotland, they value unity. They value healing. All right? Everyone thinks the same. You cannot have a safe society where people deviate from the norm. You are a deviant, Alexander. You've been a deviant by saying these things. A lawyer representing Alexander, and by the way, that whole thing with gender doesn't trump biology, like that is 2018, Alexander. Get on with the fucking times. Read The Guardian. read the BBC. Like, what are you doing? Yes, in 2018, it was separated. Like, gender was like fashion, right? So you put the goth attire in order for other people to recognize you as part being goth, right? So, like, the gender is like the attire you put on, the identity you want other people to recognize you as. And sexual biology is different, but now it's one and the same. They don't explain why that is, but it is heavily implied. A lawyer representing Alexander said that the school won't let him attend classes again until he agrees not to use the dead name. Oh my God, Alexander, now I see what you've done. You're a necromancer, aren't you? You're bringing back the dead naming. Any transgender student that agreed to exclude himself from his 2 afternoon classes because those 2 classes are attended by 2 transgender students who disapproves of Josh's religious beliefs. Wait, so he's in a Catholic school? He believes in Catholicism, and 2 other students disagree of his religious beliefs. Sounds based. Scotland, I love what you're doing. I hope that my country will soon have a government similar to the one that the Scottish people benefit from. Alexander told the National Post that he's never dead name another student, meaning using their original name. Also, wait, why are they explaining how the necromancy spells work? Aren't they spreading harm? Like, you shouldn't, like, reveal how the necromancers perform their craft. What the fuck? As for trans students disapproving of Alexander's religious beliefs, maybe they went to reflect on the fact that they're attending a Catholic school. The incident shows why it might be time to finally say goodbye to Ontario's publicly funded Catholic school system. There's nothing Catholic about it. They adhere to the same secular gospel as all of our public institutions. That is a good point, though. Like, why is it a Catholic school if it does the same thing that a secular school does? Like, you would think it would be different. If it's not different, then why are you funding it? I say this as someone who graduated from... By the way, if it's the same, right? If a Catholic school is the same as a public school, does that mean that all public schools are now Catholic? Asking for a friend. I say this as someone who graduated from the Catholic system, whose children all attended Catholic school, and whose values the distinct education that I and my children received. That distinct education is no longer distinct when in the name of diversity, the person adhering to the Catholic teaching is the one who is excluded. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Brian Lilley. Brian, you're being problematic, Brian. Actually, we don't use the word problematic anymore. We use the word dangerous, harmful. This is the new meta. Don't say these things, Brian. Do not say them. It's problematic, dangerous. Perhaps we don't have the full story from Alexander or from the school board, but one thing is clear. In Ontario's school system, woke politics trumps everything else, including the right of a teenager to receive an education. Wait, is this in Canada? Is it in Canada? I thought it's in fucking Scotland. I just Googled St. Joseph Catholic High School, and it's in the UK. You know what? It doesn't really matter if it's in Canada or in the UK. Doesn't change the essence of this story. It's not right. Not right. Let people have opinions. You know, if you go to school and you say that 2 + 2 = 5, last time I checked, they don't suspend you. Even in the time when the Christians were in power, if you say you don't believe in Jesus, they wouldn't kick you out from school. Right? Like what is it with it? Do we have blasphemy laws now? Like, if he doesn't pick on a specific student, and apparently he says he didn't, right? Like, he didn't get kicked because he dead named someone. But I think, like, the students were afraid, what if he's going to? But he says he didn't, but they were afraid that he might. I see. So in this situation, I do not understand. Why are you treating him like a blasphemer, calling the Inquisition upon him? Huh? Must be the progressive tolerance we heard about. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.